In our last video, we killed the corporate annual performance review and built a forward-looking quarterly system. But if you want that quarterly system to actually work, it lives or dies on what happens week to week in your one-on-ones. Here's my take. Most one-on-ones in small businesses, they suck. They usually fall into one of two very toxic traps. The first one is a status update interrogation. This is where you spend 30 minutes or longer asking for project updates that really should have just been put in Asana or sent over Slack. Trap number two is this awkward small talk session. It's where you sit down, ask, so how are things going? And what you're going to get is a generic fine. And then you spend 20 minutes staring at each other, wondering why this meeting is even on the calendar. When one-on-ones feel like an interrogation or a waste of time, employees dread them. They don't help anything. They start viewing you as a micromanager or a bureaucrat. So today we're going to change that. I'm going to give you the exact one-on-one framework we use in my small business to build trust, address real-time issues, and keep your team hyper-aligned without you having to micromanage. Before we look at the exact agenda structure, we have to establish one non-negotiable principle about this, and that is this. The one-on-one belongs to the employee, not the manager. As a CEO or manager, you have project management tools, you have team huddles, you have email, you have Slack to check on deadlines. The one-on-one is their dedicated time to get coaching, surface roadblocks, and align with you on strategic direction. When the employee owns the agenda, they arrive prepared with what they need help on. They build autonomy instead of waiting for instructions. The whole dynamic shifts from I'm being checked on to my leader is helping me win. If a leader is dominating 80% of the speaking time in a one-on-one, that process is broken. So here it is. It's really simple. This is the exact structure for a 30-minute one-on-one, split into 3 distinct 10-minute blocks. The first 10 minutes, that's the employees. This is where they share their priorities and their blockers. They kick off the meeting. Ask them to bring 2 to 3 key items to the table. What went well for you this week, right? Let's recognize some wins. Where are you feeling stuck or blocked? What priorities are you focusing on next? Because they know you're going to ask these questions, they come prepared. You aren't dragging information out of them. They are bringing strategic insights to you. The second 10 minutes then is the manager's 10 minutes. This is where you focus on alignment and real-time feedback. It is your turn as the leader. But you have to remember what we have talked about in the last video. If you didn't watch it, I'll tell you. There is a real-time feedback rule. If you have constructive feedback or behavioral coaching, this is where it happens, not buried in an annual review months later. You use the one-on-one to realign their weekly work with their quarterly performance goals. You give real-time constructive coaching standard by standard. You offer praise on specific behaviors that demonstrated company standards. You have alignment. And then the final 10 minutes is about future growth and roadblock removal. So wrapping up every single one-on-one by looking forward. This is where you switch from manager to catalyst. You can ask them 2 simple operational questions. What is the single biggest bottleneck standing in your way right now? And what do you need from me or anyone in the business to clear it so that you can get your job done? Your job as a leader in those final 10 minutes is to get out your bulldozer and clear the track so they can execute at a high speed. To make this system run very seamlessly across your company without driving your leaders crazy, I want you to follow 3 execution rules. The first one, rule 1, is to never cancel. You can reschedule, but canceling one-on-one signals to your team that their growth and alignment don't really matter. If you are slammed, move it, but try not to scrap it. And if you absolutely have to, explain why so that they know it has nothing to do with the value of the meeting itself. Rule number 2, keep a running document. Do not rely on your memory. Use a shared document or project board where both you and the employee drop agenda items throughout the week as they happen. And then finally, rule number 3 is to keep project status out of it. If a conversation turns into a deep dive on a tactical project update, pause and say, hey, let's move this project update to Slack or Asana so we can focus this time on your development and your roadblocks. When you switch your one-on-ones from tactical status updates to forward-looking coaching sessions, your team stops dreading them and you stop micromanaging. You build a team that solves its own problems. They hit quarterly goals and they take ownership of their work. Drop a comment below. Let me know, how often do you currently run one-on-ones with your direct reports and what's your biggest challenge with them? In our next video, we are going to tackle the hardest part of leadership, and that is how to train your managers to deliver radical, direct feedback in real time without being a jerk or ruining morale. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. If you're still working through setting up your leadership cadence, click the video right here where I walk through the full Acacia framework for quarterly reviews. I'll see you over there.